Laker fans, how we doing? My name is Sammy Long. This is another Laker preview video, doing one for every game this season. So second night of the back-to-back in Philly tonight. We're going to get to them in just a second. First, quick recap of last night. Lakers got the job done. 112-107 was not pretty. It was one of the best first quarters I think I've ever seen. The Lakers looked amazing. I mean, they were jumping passing lanes, getting quick, easy buckets, shutting them down defensively. And as I said on the broadcast, no lead in the NBA is safe anymore, especially what a 20-point lead maybe 15 years ago felt like a little insurmountable. It's not anymore, especially the way the Hornets shot threes. They shot like 14 of 30 at one point in this game and were completely outpacing the Lakers, even though the Lakers were dominating on the inside. So, they got the W. They got what they had to do. They closed it out at the end there, even though they had some bad turnovers at the end. Anthony Davis, obviously, 42 and 23. And I like what Vando said post-game. It was true that even though LaMelo Ball went out for them early in the game, they didn't have Brandon Miller and Grant Williams, and they're not a great team to begin with. The Lakers still didn't have Rui and Gabe, and that's tough to be mixing lineups, especially with Vando just coming back the other day, and then Shake Milton getting a lot of time and kind of mesh with these lineups. Even Dorian Finney-Smith is still new in the lineup, so kind of tough to be mixing lineups on the fly. But at the end of the day, the Lakers got the job done. 112-107, AD 42 and 23, just outstanding. And hopefully he can replicate that tonight on the second night of the back-to-back in Philly. An unfortunate fact about this game, this series over the course of history, the Lakers have not won in this building since 2017 and 2018 season, which is pretty wild to think about, especially some of the championship team was in there. There's been some good Laker teams in there. A couple years ago, there was like a double overtime game that the Lakers went back and forth, but Embiid went absolutely off in the game. It was able to win. Philly has a lot of guys out tonight. A ton of guys. Paul George is out. Joel Embiid's out. Andre Drummond's out. Caleb Martin's out. KJ Martin's out. And Jared McCain's out. One of the best young rookies out of Duke. He was sensational. He had a huge game against the Lakers in the first time they played. So the season scores for the Sixers, second, third, and fourth are all out for this game. The one guy that is there is Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is an absolute stud. I personally think he's one of the best players in the NBA. If you were drafting a team with everyone available, I don't think it'd be too far before you got to Tyrese Maxey because of his age, because of how much he's really grown as a player in his short time in Philly. He's averaging around 27 points per game and about 6 assists per game. He does it all. He had 31 the other night. His role has only been going up since Paul George and Embiid have been out. And this team a lot early this season, they started out like 1-7 at one point when the Lakers played them. They were really struggling. And a lot of that was due to Paul George being hurt to start the year. Joel Embiid was hurt, and then there was some back and forth with the media. He was kind of pissed at Philly fans for calling him out, saying what he's done for the city is a lot. And Philly is not a forgiving sports town, as we all know. So that was kind of tough to start the year. And this is a team that a lot of people picked as kind of a dark horse in the Eastern Conference behind your Boston, Knicks, and Cleveland, because when they're healthy, they got a pretty damn good lineup. This 1 through 10 is really good. The problem is they're just never out on the floor. Because of Paul George and Joel Embiid being out, Tyrese Maxey has really taken his game to another level. He was great last year, one of the kind of breakout players of the league, but especially this year because he's just kind of continued that and had to shoulder the load with all these guys being out, and Drummond and Caleb Martin. There's been a lot of injuries on this team. But so Tyrese Maxey leads the way. The second leading scorer tonight would be, because Embiid and George and Martin are out, Kelly Oubre. About 14 points per game, 6 rebounds per game. Kelly Oubre out of Kansas, longtime player in the league, bounced around a little bit, kind of found a home in Philly. He's a very good player. I like Kelly Oubre a lot. I watched him a lot when he was at Kansas, and he's had some good games against the Lakers. He can defend long, and he can get kind of streaky. He's a very streaky shooter, and when he gets going, he can be a handful for a lot of teams. So the Lakers really got to worry about Maxey and Oubre. Eric Gordon, veteran on around the league, used to play for the Clippers. He's there. Yabusele is going to be down low against Anthony Davis with Drummond out. So Yabusele and Adembona are going to be the only guys guarding AD. That's good news for the Lakers. AD should be dominating, especially coming off that game last night, 42 and 23. Andre Drummond being out and Embiid, that's your top 2 big men. So they're going to have to ride and going to have to throw a lot of fouls at Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis should have a monster game. And if he does, I think that's a good sign for the Lakers in terms of winning. Reggie Jackson, it'll be interesting to see who moves in the starting lineup because Paul George did play in this last game. Could see Reggie Jackson doing it, veteran, been around the league a long time. Same with Kyle Lowry. They got a lot of veteran guards coming off the bench. Ricky Council's a nice young player out of Arkansas. He's been good for them. Kind of been a little bit shadow because of the development of Jared McCain, but Ricky Council is a nice player. And Justin Edwards has gotten a lot of minutes off the bench recently, so expect to see a lot of him tonight. The last 5 games for the Sixers, they've getting a little bit hotter. They had a 3-game losing streak before the last 2. So they had lost to Indiana, lost to the Bucks, and lost to Denver, and then they beat Cleveland in kind of a thriller, and then they whooped up on Chicago the other night. So this should be a game. Vegas has it pretty close to line, even though all these injuries, they're currently favored. The Lakers are currently favored by 3.5. The total was set at 219.5. Some people have bet it down. It's down to 216.5 for all you gamblers out there that want to put a little action on the game. The Sixers are 17-27, and they sit in 11th in the Eastern Conference. On the Lakers side of things for the injury report, Rui and Gabe, still both questionable. The Lakers have been pretty hush-hush about the report, considering it's a back-to-back. They kind of want to get treatment. They got on the flight last night. LeBron indicated post-game he will not be playing in this. Kind of dropped some hints there. So if LeBron's out, Lakers still can win the game. I think that kind of reflects why the spread's only 3.5. I was surprised when I saw it. I thought it'd be a larger spread for the Lakers. I bet they think LeBron's out. But I think the more crucial player in this game is Anthony Davis because of who they're missing. Down low, AD should be able to dominate. And you should be able to beat a team without Paul George and Joel Embiid and Drummond without LeBron. Obviously, still taking a risk. You're on the road in a tough Philly environment to play. But I do think the Lakers will come out to play. Hopefully, if LeBron is not playing this game, Rui and Gabe are able to play tonight. That would be big. Maybe they were kind of planning this all along, where you had LeBron was going to get rest in the second night, and they were going to go tonight. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the lineups. Shake Milton got a lot of run last night. I'd like to see more of him. He is playing his old team, even though he didn't have a great night. They kind of pointed out on the broadcast, there were some bad fouls called on him that I didn't really agree with, and he kind of got in foul trouble fast, and he had a turnover that really wasn't his fault because it kind of bounced and he grabbed it, and 3 guys kind of came and grabbed it. So I'd like to see Shake Milton continue to get some run. Going to need Reeves to step up. Max Christie had a big night last night, hit some big threes, the 4-point play at the end. Going to need the sort of supporting cast to really get after it. I think the key for Redick tonight is Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt. Knowing that the 2 best players for Philly in this game, due to a lot of them being hurt, is Maxey and Kelly Oubre. Putting Vando on Maxey and letting Dorian Finney-Smith run with Oubre could be a way to kind of shut them down, which would be huge for this game. So again, if no LeBron, it's kind of a crapshoot. Tyrese Maxey's the star for them. Anthony Davis is the star for us. But can't wait for this one. Should be a fun game. Hopefully the Lakers can continue getting a W. Then, looking ahead, you got Washington. These are games that you can really kind of boost in the standings on a 4-game win streak. It's actually the second longest in the NBA right now. So you're going to be heavily favored against Washington. Then you got that big showdown on Saturday against the Knicks. It'd be great to go on that Knicks game with a couple more wins and just really getting after this Grammy road trip after starting 2-0. So thank you. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Alan will get you guys on the post-game show, and appreciate it. Let's go Lakers.